What up, what up, what up? You tuned in to the Jose Morales podcast where we talk sports, business, and everything in between. I am your host, Jose Morales. And joining me in the ring today is my boy Kendall Robinson, baby. We go back.
Way back.
Way back. I mean, talking about
Beginning.
What year is that? Like 2002, 3, around there?
Yeah, I think it was
early 2000s.
Or early 2000. I think it was around 2005. I may say I became a barber 2006 or somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere right there.
All I remember is you coming in with your you had a blue Dodger hat. I think you
Yes, a LA Dodger hat.
Yeah, that's how
that was my trucking hat.
Yeah, that's how I remember you, bro. I remember I would be sitting there waiting to get cut.
Yeah.
And right there on Del Paso Boulevard, and we'll sit down, and I was waiting to get cut, and here comes Kendall with his blue Dodger hat. I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to get cut by this Dodger
I was the
fan.
old greenhorn. Yeah, I was green.
And he took care of me, man. He was my barber for years. I was there until I stopped going there when I got my job in the South area, and I was always in South Sac, and that's when I really stopped going. But Kendall and everyone there at 5 Star Fades, man, was rich. Everybody, it was just love, and I feel love. When I went there a few months ago, it was just very.
That was a big surprise. That made me feel good. That warmed my heart. But
too.
even when you moved to the South area, I could see you moving towards your vision and what you wanted to do. And so that's, it's always good to see people achieve their goals and dreams.
Thank you. And I appreciate, and I see that about you too, because you spent a lot of time doing, I remember when you were cutting me, you were doing some sort of like the alcoholic.
Yeah, I started a company called Sober Talk, alcohol and drug recovery program.
Yes.
And I, at the time I didn't know, I started it through motivational speaking in the beginning though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I wound up getting a contract with Sacramento Community-Based Coalition Group, California Department of Correction and Rehabilitation, and Sacramento County Office of Education.
Yeah.
So it kind of went far beyond what I exceeded, but I didn't know it was gonna
blow up.
Incorporate so much. No, it just got so big I didn't have a staffing matrix.
Okay.
So to no avail, I decided that, you know what? Let me take my
full-on barber. Yeah,
full-on barber, but add a twist and take it to the church.
Yeah.
And provide my services to the Calvary Christian Center Overcomers Discipleship Ministry, and that's where it's been about 10 years now since I've been volunteering. Yeah, so I volunteer my time, my talents to the kingdom, and God just been blessed me, irreversibly, man. Everything that I've been wanting and needing has just been provided through me offering the service. Just like you start off offering somebody your service, the next thing you know, you got this building filled with people that want to be around you, man.
Yeah,
so it's a good thing. It's a real good thing.
And you've been doing that for a long time. I remember when you were blowing that up, you were like, man, it's getting busy.
But as you see now, with a great demand come great reward, though. Yep. So it's very little of you to spread, so you have to put key people around you to help you expand.
Exactly.
So,
yep. You have to have a solid team.
Yeah.
So one thing that we, both Kendall and I have in common is vitiligo.
That's crazy.
And that is what we're going to talk about today. Because when we met, neither of us had vitiligo.
No,
you
neither
didn't have
one.
it. I didn't have it.
Yeah.
It was foreign to us. I think I was the first one to get it. I got it in 2009.
I actually had mine. It's been 6 years since I've been married with it. So
how old were
4
you?
years, about 10 years.
Yeah. So how old were you when you got it?
I think about 45, 44.
And where did you notice it? Where was the first spot?
The first, I noticed it in my palm.
Your palm?
And I noticed it in my palm as I started to see my dark lines in my palm. The lifelines in my palm recede, and I kind of went nuts about it. I said, I think I'm erasing, and didn't no doctor know how to explain that to me. And everywhere I went, they either diagnosed me with high blood pressure or high cholesterol, and nobody could pinpoint it.
Hey, same thing with me. I was 19. I had actually just got back from Miami, and I noticed it on my knuckle, and I was like, what the hell was that? It was a little white spot.
Yeah.
And it kept getting bigger and bigger, and I'm like, hold up, something's wrong. I went to the doctor, no joke, for like 5 different doctors, did not know what it was.
Exactly what I went through.
One doctor told me that it was because of boxing. And that's when I was like, there's no way, because I've been boxing a lot longer. If it was because of boxing, this would have happened once I started boxing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's crazy, because my business partner told me I noticed the second one on my face, and he said, that's just a hair bump. That's from dirty clippers. I said, nah, I keep my stuff pretty clean. So it's
they try
ironic.
To relate it to our jobs,
right. And it was nothing significant about that.
Yeah.
So that was altogether even more puzzling. So
yeah.
Where do I get this information that I need to resolve my questionable issue, man? Don't nobody got the right answer.
Yeah. And hell yes.
So, you know,
the doctor didn't know or whatever, and he kept pushing this and that until they finally sent me to a dermatologist. And that's how I finally got it. How did you kind of finally get it diagnosed? Who's the person who finally
like you? I ran out of patience with the results I was getting from everybody with the wrong diagnosis, and I went down to the tattoo shop down on Del Paso, next to my business, in fact, and PJ gave me the number to a doctor called Dr. Tangetti, and he sent me there, and he gave me all the information, scraped the bottom of my feet, my palm, looked at it underneath microscope. Yeah.
So the tattoo dude told you?
Yes, because I dealt with him when I had got one of my tattoos. I got dug out on one of my tattoos, and they just went overboard tatting, and my skin inflamed. So he had previously sent me to this dermatologist, which gave me some steroid cream to settle the irritation on the tattoo. So when I wound up going back to him to ask him about my skin, he said, no, you go back to that doctor. And then that's where, right on 52nd.
And that's how you got it?
Yeah, and it was, I didn't like the way he pretty much informed me of what it was. I didn't like that presentation.
What? So what did he say? Go. Lead me through that moment. How'd it go by? So he did that, put it in the
because you know it's scary. You see yourself going through something, and you finally getting the information about it. And he said, I got some good news and I got some bad news. And at this time I was going through a divorce at the time. And he said, which one you want first? I said, I want the bad news. He said, the bad news is you have a disease called vitiligo.
Bro, doesn't that sound bad though?
But
listen to that. A disease
called. So he didn't say skin condition.
Disorder, yeah.
So, but what he added to plummet me into depression was he said the bad thing is we don't know how you get it, ain't no cure for it, and you can't give it to anybody. So am I gonna die?
Yeah, you were just.
He said no, but he did say one emphatic thing that kind of catapulted me back to my senses. He said, the only thing is gonna kill is your pride. And we both know pride is what kills the heart from within. So you got to get rid of pride. He said, you're just going to have to adjust to putting out spot fires. How can you put out spot fires? A little bit at a time. And that's when he said, it might pop up here. Can't control it. It might pop up there. But so that's how I got the information. I just went into total dark depression.
Wow. Yeah, that's exactly me too.
Yeah.
I went to a dermatologist. This was off of Howe. And
yes, I think it's the same location, right on the corner.
Yeah. Oh shit! Check that out.
The irony in our life is crazy.
So I was there, and right away though, it was a girl that helped me.
Yes,
she was like, I don't remember.
Kind of blonde, tall, skinny.
Yeah, tall, skinny.
Yes,
girl.
yes, that's her. I forget her name.
Yeah, so I walked up in there, and she's like, I already know what it is by looking at you, but I could run a couple tests. She's like, but I'm pretty sure that's vitiligo.
Yeah.
And look, this is the shit. Stay away from the internet. Before I went there, I had looked up shit on Google and shit, you know what I mean? And when you type in vitiligo, bro, the images you get
are like,
what the fuck?
Spirit depleting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna look like that. Oh no.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was already like, man, they better not tell me I have this. They better not tell me I have this. And when she told me it's vitiligo, I was like, boo, my heart just dropped. And I was like, man. And then she was like, I'm gonna run a test. And when she said I could run like a skin test or one that I know is if you turn off all the lights, turn on a black light, it glows. And if it glows, it's vitiligo. So she did that. Fuck, I started glowing.
So now we glow in the dark.
Now we glow in the dark. So, when that happened, she's like, yep, it's vitiligo. And then she started telling me the good news and bad news, like similar to your situation. She's like, it's almost identical. She's like, it's not going to kill you. You can't give it to nobody. but it will mess with your pride, you know, the way you look and all that. And no joke, for me, I was very depressed, bro.
I went to the dark place also.
I was very depressed
because
I was embarrassed and everything. So tell me about your side. How'd it go for you?
I know you're a spirit-filled man like me, and we try to believe in our supernatural healing power of God. And I think in dealing with this, the healing power of God didn't rest within him healing me from the disease itself, the skin, the visual aspects of it, but he healed my spirit, so I know how to get through it, how to get past it. And it was dark for a while, man. I ain't gonna lie. It went into seclusion, and just.
And then it probably was even more rough for you because you said you had just got a divorce.
I had got a divorce, and then I felt, because I felt like that woman was the only woman that would want me. Yeah. And then I'm going through a change, and I felt, I don't know if many out there know this feeling, but I felt broken because of the marriage, even more broken because of the vitiligo. And it was a desert kind of experience. I'm in the middle of the desert, and I'm far from reach of anybody accessing me, and I don't know which way to go, and it's without direction, and it just felt bad, man. I don't know how to explain it. It felt bad.
It was the same way for me. I was super depressed. It's probably like a good 2 years where I would hide my hands. I'd go anywhere. I didn't want no one to look at them. I didn't want no one to see them. I try to do anything in my power to avoid the conversation of what's that? Yeah. What's that on your hand?
Yeah.
And I was with the girl at the time, and she actually made me feel good because she's like, I don't care what you look like. But then when we broke up, I was like, oh fuck. Now what?
That's the feeling.
Yeah.
That feeling like she's the only one that could see the goodness in me. She was the only one that found me worthy. I'm not gonna be worthy to no one else. So my sense of self-worth and value is kind of even more depleted. So, oh man,
it was rough.
I'm a walking goose egg.
Yeah. How'd you get over that?
I just went into prayer, and I started going to church a little bit more, and I kept going to complain to my pastor. And and he said, what, Kendall? I'm sick and tired of you coming to me complaining about this vitiligo. He said, I don't want to hear you come to me no more complaining about that vitiligo. You receive your healing, and you walk in your anointing, and you'll be filled with the things that God desires you to be filled with to overcome it. And I couldn't see that far at the time when he was feeding me this message. I mean, what do you mean? I want people to feel sorry for me. I want other people to cry for me, to come to my defense. I want people to kind of substitute the feelings that I don't have, give them to me, forfeit those feelings to me so I could feel better about myself, but nobody did. So what he was trying to get me to do was stop looking at the signs and the symptoms, look at the reward. So you and me, we gifted right now with a testimony that nobody else has. As we metamorphosize and change, people see that change and they see how you deal with it, and they, without us knowing, they aspire to have that kind of courage. They aspire to have that drive, tenacity, that motivation. Like, man, he can get past that. Because I see it as the devil trying to defeat us in our spirit, to get us moved out of our emotions so he can just consume us off to ourselves. He wants us to be in that desert to where nobody can reach us, nobody can access us. And then once you show the fight back, and then God he'll add resources around you. You can see he had so many resources around you that it makes it almost impossible for you to even think about having it, because you got so much to do, so many people to help, that they see past that. They don't see, when they look, your friends and family look at you, they don't even see this. Yeah. They don't see vitiligo on you. They just see Jose. Yeah. They see past what you choose to look at.
Yep. I like that, man. That's a good way to.
Yeah.
I looked at it in my experience as a fighter mentality. It took me a while to get there, but it was very similar to you. I was like, this ain't stopping me at all. I mean, I got this. Who cares?
I tell people in recovery and in the world of addiction, I got vitiligo. Okay, I receive that, but that's man telling me about a disease. But you got to know what's in your heart to overcome whatever it is you facing. So if I got vitiligo and I can overcome this. What's your excuse for not overcoming dope, methamphetamine, crack cocaine, heroin, or barbiturates? What's your excuse? Because if I can fight and overcome this, and your challenge is minute then. So to give them a parallel or something to measure themselves by, so they can see that they have that certain it that it takes to get where they need to be. Because somebody once told me this, and I'll never forget this. This teacher in one of my churches, she said, no matter what, no matter the circumstances, you got to believe. She said, you got to believe that in the midst of the toughest circumstances, you have what it takes to produce excellent results. I don't care what the situation. I don't care what the situation or the circumstance is. You got that certain it to produce results that many men can't, or many people can't, because you separate, whole, and unique and different from anybody else you'll come in contact with. And I had to start believing that and just remembering it, because there's certain quips and quotes about this boxing arena that you in, things that you see other boxers that in the past that done, that makes your boxing and teaching techniques different than, because there's a million instructors in boxing, but it's only one that do it like you do it.
Yep.
And that's what separates you and separates me from everybody else. So I take this as a blessing that not only am I different, but I'm also unique.
Yep, very true. Hell yeah, I like that. Thank you for sharing. That's some deep shit right there.
Yeah, because,
next thing, I want to ask you, what's your theory? How did, because there's no really reason why you get it. What do you think? How do you think
well,
it's a disorder where, vitiligo is a disorder where your skin starts creating the pigment to get the color.
Melanin is the skin cell that keeps us this color that we are. So when that melanin skin cell dies, then there's nothing in our body to resist, to help our immune system. Because if you really want to hear the truth, and I looked this up maybe about a couple months ago, and the crazy part is that our white blood cells in our body, the white blood cells, if you get a black eye, them white blood cells go to that affected area and they repair that eye. But those white blood cells, when they go to repair that eye, those blood cells are depleted. So what regenerates the white blood cells then? It's called neutrophils. So your body accounts for so many white blood cells, and your body accounts for so many neutrophils. So what happens if my neutrophils are depleted? Well, then your defense system is all the way down, so that it takes a minimum of 1,500 neutrophils in your body to sustain your immune system. It's those neutrophils again that replenish the white blood cells. But if your neutrophils are depleted, then you have to resort to platelets, or them giving you a blood transfusion so you can get those platelets to help build the neutrophils that help build the white blood cells. So when I looked in at the doc, I went, I played flag football till today, and I sustained like a injury to my groin. And during that downtime, my neutrophils had got below 1,500. The minimum is 1,500. I was like 1,325, 1,341. But the person that called to give me the information to tell me that my neutrophil count was low didn't know anything about it. So I went back to the dark area and I Googled neutrophils. It was then that I found that over a period of time, your neutrophils replenish. So as your neutrophils replenish, your white blood cell count goes back up. So I went back up to maybe about 1,561. So I never probably will ever achieve the 2,500 that every normal person get. We're always going to be on the border. That's why it's important to supplement your body with the right nutrients, so to sustain your body chemistry, so to speak. You ever notice it's almost so hard for you to wake up in the morning? Yeah. It's like, man, before your feet hit the floor, you want some kind of surge of energy to get you out of the bed. I researched this. I said, well, they said ain't no cure for it. It's got to be something to help me with this. So I Googled vitiligo. Guess what I found? The areas in our body that's depleted the most. So it told me the things I had to supplement in my body, because you can take a men's 1-a-day vitamin, which only gives you a percentage of what vitiligo depleted. Remember, it's an immune system disorder. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, on there it tells me to supplement with it says supplement with coconut oil, garlic peel, fish oil peel, vitamin B12, calcium, E peel. It said folic acid. It says ginkgo biloba. But these biotin, and it says these. But you take those capsules. I went to the vitamin store. I want them in 100% of their form. I don't want a percentage. I need 100%. So every day in the morning, I take those handful of pills. And that's how I keep my immune system up. You're going to change no matter what. But your immune system being up for you to even be able to fight needs support.
Very good.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan talked about the carnivore diet.
And
all meat. He said it helped him.
Listen, so everybody got their personal approach to overcoming the disease, but you got to remember, it's already been diagnosed by man as being non-defeatable.
Yeah.
So you don't like to lose no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So you do whatever it takes to win within the right perspective, so to speak. So Joe Rogan said a carnivore diet, you got to remember, we all need protein, but at an alarming excessive rate is eating that much protein is harmful to your digestive tract. You can't process that meat. It stays in your system 3-4 weeks before it all just a state, couple of weeks in your system. So a carnivore diet, I think, it might be good for him and his first approach, but I'm sure it'll be modified later down the road as he'll begin to see it'll take an effect on his stomach.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, no. That's
Too much red meat.
My brother actually sent me that. He said you should try that. But I thought about it. I'm like, that's a lot of meat,
and plus you can only 28 grams of protein a day, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you eating a steak, and you got to remember he's eating it almost rare.
Yeah.
To get you pretty much going to have to eat it almost rare to get the right
nutrients.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I don't do that.
No, I'm good. I haven't done it. No.
And I'm not gonna do it. But it works for him though.
One thing that when I talked to you last, when I went to the barbershop and you brought this up to me, I thought it was tight. You said you do this every time someone looks at you, stares at you. They stare at you for a long time and they're looking at your hands. You said a kid one time.
Yeah, I was in the grocery store.
Share that story, man. That was hilarious. I like the story.
So I was in, little people that people that see others with vitiligo, they always stare and they have a fear of asking a question, what's going on with you? And when we want to answer, it's just so long drawn out explanation that they still wouldn't understand it. So one day I was in the grocery store. I think I was at like Food Co or something. I was, the wife gave me the list and I was going to pick up the stuff she wanted. So I went down this aisle and I was picking up a couple items and the kid was at the top of the aisle staring at me. So I picked up the stuff I needed and I moved on to the next aisle. But when I moved on to the next aisle, the kid was at the other end staring at me. And I'm like, wow, I picked up what I needed from that aisle, went to the next aisle. But when I got to the next aisle, he was actually on the aisle and he was looking at me. And then finally he came up to me and he was staring and looking and gazing at me. And he pointed to an area on my face that's affected. And he said, ooh, what's that? And I leaned over into his ear and I said, this is what you get when you stare at people too long. And it's a good icebreaker story to others too that go through it because, man, it sounds easy for us to deal with it, but nobody could ever imagine walking in our shoes with it.
Yeah.
I got a story for you though. I was on Marysville and Bell at the taco stand right there across from there.
I know where it is.
I was getting right. I live around the corner from there, so that's my usual Friday night.
Friday night, Saturday.
Yeah.
Fire.
So I got up in top of the line, man, and I was getting my condiments and whatnot, getting my ready to eat my tacos, and everybody around as I grab the tongs to get the carrots and potatoes, everybody was staring at my hands. It just kept staring. And I was kind of moved by it, kind of feeling some kind of way. And then finally, my spirit moved me. I turned around and looked at everybody. I said, just ask. Just ask. Just ask. Rather than staring, I could solve your staring by you. Just ask. It's okay. I'm confident now. I got my bearing. I don't let it depress me anymore. I don't let the stares move me. I know how to defend myself from the stares, from the frowns, and from the questions, and because everybody, even if I didn't have it, everybody got their reasons for not receiving you. That's their personal reason. It had nothing to do with me or
what they say? Did they say anything?
Yeah, the one Mexican guy behind me, he said, "It's okay, Holmes." He said, "It's okay, Holmes," and he turned to everybody and said, "What?" He turned to the other side and said, "What?" And it was like, even though I don't know him, just that little bit measure of somebody speaking up for you or
backing you up.
Yeah, it made me. It strengthened. It helped to strengthen me in that moment right there. Yeah. So it was some. Caught me off guard. It caught me off guard because I thought I was gonna be challenged by everybody.
Yeah. One thing that happened with me to kind of get over, because when I was I was in deep in depression, and finally get me to acknowledge and who cares and feel good about it. I was in San Francisco and I was walking. I don't remember exactly where I was at, but I was walking around. This lady comes up to me. She looked white. She looked white.
I like albino.
Yeah. She came up to me. I didn't know she had a vitiligo because she didn't have patches. You know what I mean?
Right, because she was already complete.
Yeah,
she was already completed the process.
Comes up to me and she was like, "Hey, you have vitiligo." And she's like, "Man, I want to take a picture with you." She hugged me. Yeah. She was hella welcoming of it. She's like, and then we snatched a picture. She was like, "I take pictures with everybody I see with vitiligo." She's on my 2 kids have vitiligo. I had vitiligo. And so I just want to let them know that it's good to have it. It's okay. We're a community.
Right,
and back each other up. And her doing that, man, made me feel.
Gave you so much reassurance.
Hell yeah. I feel amazing. And after that, I always do it now. Anytime I see somebody with vitiligo, I acknowledge them. I say what's up to them. And then I ask them if they want to take a picture. I'm like, you want to take a picture of me? Let's take a picture. Come on, let's take a picture together. And I've done that. The ones that I've noticed that affect the most is younger kids. When I do that with younger kids with vitiligo, I've caught a lot of young kids, like under 18, 12, 13, 14-year-olds, when they're like just very down. You can tell they're down because they're like this.
Right.
Because I think they've been used to getting bullied.
Right.
In school, you know.
Right.
So doing things like that for the kids, I've noticed really, it makes me feel good, but then it makes me feel even better seeing their reaction to how I treated them, which is something that I like that we do. Do you did it affect you, like after vitiligo? I know you got remarried. How was that process? Was it a smooth transaction? How was that?
Because I was in a dark place at the time. All of that stuff was happening at simultaneously. The vitiligo, the divorce, the separation, and establishing 2 different households. All of that was happening at the same time. So
was it hard for you? Like, for example, me prior to vitiligo, I would go talk to a girl, no problem. Like, what's up, But during that time period when I was down, bro, I kind of...
Your confidence was gone.
Yeah, it was a little bit gone. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know. I'm going to holler at this girl. Yeah. So did that happen with you? Like, did you...
Yeah, it did. It did because you like you and like me, we know all the areas on our body where it exists.
Yeah.
We only show people a portion, our sleeves, our face. If we're out
I got it in my armpits.
Yeah, I got it on the armpits, back of my head. So the answer really to that question is I was just so fearful. And then when I met somebody, I hadn't really had it on my face yet, but I just had a couple of spots on my fingers. Not spots, but major spots on my hand. And then she said, I seen her and I expressed how much I liked her and everything. But then she told me, she said she didn't care if I turned black, yellow, blue, purple, that she was in love with the man inside. That's after I had got, that was further along. But I don't know, man. I started
dating.
dating.
She told you that the first day. That's some real
But
love.
you know what?
You.
No, but the crazy thing about it is that, like I say, we can never see ourselves like other people. Yeah. And she saw past the surface. Yep. You know, because once I started to reveal to her who I was, because I told her, I don't know what you want from me. I'm broken right now. I don't have nothing. My spirit is broken. My money is kind of funny. My household is separated. I'm out here by myself. What else could happen to me? What do you want? What do you want with me? She said, wow, you think pretty low of me. I said, nah, I just figured because
you got to know this.
I got to know because I don't have nothing to offer you. What would you want with me? She said, wow, I just seen something that I've been wanting. She said, and this is the truth. She said, all my life I was wondering why God didn't give me a husband like my friend them got, and I could never cohesively enjoy an environment with them. She said, I'm not mad at God anymore. I said, why? She said, because it's you who he had me waiting on. I'm done looking. It's you. And I looked at myself. I said, that sound rehearsed again. It sounded like, it just sounded like she was playing me. And for me to think that it was kind of disrespectful to her, she said. And she just said, I want an opportunity to show you that I can be the kind of woman that you've been missing in your life. After 18 years of marriage and providing for a family and not to get anything in return, so to speak, from the spouse that I felt that a man should be enjoying in his life, it was a big high stakes risk for me. It was, dang, man, do I really want to do this all over again? Like you, man, do I really want to do this all over again? But like business, you got to take a chance on yourself. And I took a chance. I told the other wife, the ex-wife who wanted to get back together with me, she said, is it too late? I said, yeah, it's too late. I had to learn how to fall out of love with you. But this lady over here, Rebecca, she told me she loved me. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance on love. And I took that chance, and it's been paying dividends as far as all the things that I was missing in my marriage. More than respect, it was communication. Just knowing your love language with your spouse. It's so much of a big reward. Once you find your love language with your spouse, that's an amazing thing. It was communication, it was touching, and it was time. And those are three things that I was missing in my other marriage because I didn't have any hallmark moments to fall back on to make me even want to feel close to that other one that I had. So when you don't have nothing to fall back on, like right now, you got, whether it's negative, you want to receive it negative or not, you got vitiligo to fall back on. Yeah. Because when you can think about where other people are, a lot of people give up. You're a fighter. You was born to fight. Your mama probably told you when you was a young boy, that Jose, he hard-headed. And you need to stop. But what if you had to stop fighting then? You wouldn't be where you are today. Yep. You wouldn't be fighting now. And it wouldn't be a proper testament to who you are. So it's good that you didn't listen, because most of those statements were meant for you to achieve those weak areas. She said, stop doing that. Do the right thing. Keep pressing forward. And that's kind of how it happened, man. I'm with her today in my life. That's why I didn't
seem happy, man.
I've never been happy before like this. It's a different kind of happy.
Yeah, I can see it just by talking to you, being around you, and you just seem your spirit is a good place.
With everything, man, you gotta have a relationship with God. You gotta have a relationship with God, and the first thing I give props to God first, because without God, I couldn't do none of this. I still keep a successful alcohol and drug counseling company without all the paperwork. I just do it as a motivational speaker now. And I still use my barber chair as a ministry for people, and I help them overcome their areas of weakness in their life. So it's this ring that you in right here. This is a box that you created, because sometimes people put up walls to keep others out, and they put up walls to keep themselves in. So you built this box right here, not only to keep people in, but to keep people out of their own way, so to speak, from going out. Because if they didn't come here, some of them, I hate to say it, would be out in life doing who knows what. And so that avenue that you created, it ain't just for you. it ain't just for me. It's for everybody else.
Yep. What would you tell anybody that's has vitiligo or just found out they had vitiligo and they're in that first stage of depression? What would you tell them? What would be your tip of advice to
First
all
of all,
those people?
I think that's the toughest question you asked me since I've been here so far. I don't know. I guess I would say just first, go to God first. And that's where everything start to, the layer of the onion start to peel back a little bit, because you still in there. You still in there, and don't let yourself be tricked by the superficial look that you have in the mirror. You still in there.
Yeah.
So whatever gifts that God gave you, God gave me, God gave them, drive, tenacity, vision, purpose, aspiration, goals. You gotta remember that all that stuff is achievable. It's just chip paint on a car. Mm-hmm. It's you can't stop getting chips of paint on your car. There's always gonna be chip paint somewhere. I guess just to fight through it, reach out to others that have it, and just be in acceptance, because acceptance is also another addiction that people don't know, because everybody want to be accepted by others, and they'll do the ridiculous to be received, and some of them go and get in gangs to seek acceptance, to feel wanted. And so they already need to be in acceptance of that situation right there, because you can also go to the wrong resources.
I like that. That's good. That's deep. So how can we connect with you, Kendall? How can we find you? Where you at? Tell us about your business. Tell us about where you at. If people want to know more of Kendall, how can we connect with you?
Well, from Tuesday through Friday from 9 to 6, I'm located at 1332 Del Paso Boulevard, Sacramento, California, 95818. And you can come there, or you can call my shop phone, 916-921-1425, and ask for Kendall. They call me OG. Or you can come to Calvary Christian Center on Saturday. No, you can come to Calvary Christian Center Tuesday nights from 6 to 7:20, where I hold a real men's class. And that's for guys with substance abuse problems, or fathers that's having challenges at home, where I do a session, a 1-hour session every week. And probably up to about 25 people right now. And I do that every week. And Saturdays I'm at the shop from 7 to 4 at the barbershop. So I try to make myself accessible. And I guess what's key is that part. For you to give your gift to somebody, for me to give my gift to somebody, we got to be accessible, man. And you got to be reliable, dependable. All the ables, you have to be that, because in you and in me is what a lot of people lost along the way, and that's courage, that's confidence, all that stuff. A lot of men lose. A lot of men walking around today, Jose, that don't even know their purpose.
Yep. Don't know why they're here.
Don't know why they're here.
Yep. You got to find your heart. Find your heart. I say that every time.
The key, you found the key. You ain't even know it. Your key, you already found the key. That's why you're so prosperous right now. Mm-hmm. Your key is helping others. You continue to do that, and God will continue to open all these doors of wants that you have. The doors of wants, I want this, I want that, because He's not ready to fulfill your needs. You don't need for nothing. So these wants, by you helping other people, become available for God to bless you in. Yep. I found that out. So that's why I volunteer my time, and that's why I make myself accessible, because without that, today, what you did today, the devil gonna be mad. You bringing me in here and us sharing love with one another, enlightening other people about this challenge that we've overcome, the devil gonna be mad at us. Yep. Somewhere down the line, he gonna try to trip us, stop, block, and hinder us from achieving another dream or a goal, because you helped me today. Yeah. You'll feel a little bit lighter today, because I took some weight off your shoulders. I'm gonna steal from you. I love to steal from people. Stuff that you say, stuff that you speak about, I'm gonna take that with me, and that makes me stronger when I go back out there.
That's true. Amen.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for coming out. That's it. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any feedback or anything, reviews, leave a review, subscribe. Thank you for listening. We out.